If I meet with a smaller group of students from a large class each week during the regular time, how frequently should I meet with one group? So this comes from an idea that we've been talking to a lot of people about. Let's say you have a class that meets for 3 hours once a week. It's got 120 people, and normally 120 students would be sitting in a lecture theater with you once a week for 3 hours. Well, with online learning, you can take that lecture material and put it as asynchronous and use that synchronous time for interactive experiences. But 120 students for an interactive experience can be a little bit difficult. So you might consider breaking them up into 3 groups and having 40 students join you for the first hour, 40 students for the second hour, 40 students for the third hour. Now you're having smaller classes so you can engage in those discussions, be a little bit more connected with the students, and you have that 1 hour of really focused, in-depth time with them. So if you're going to do that, I tend to recommend breaking groups up into groups of 3 and having an hour session. However, I have seen instructors do groups of 3 groups or 6 groups where they meet with students for half-hour sessions. It depends on what you want to accomplish in that time. The question about avoiding different information is a good one. So we're giving this session again. The information is going to be really similar, but not quite exactly the same as the last session we gave. So what I would do as an instructor, and for example, when I taught in high school, I had the pleasure and the curse of teaching the same math class 3 times in one day. So by the time I got to that 3rd period, I was covering all the questions that had been covered in periods 1 and periods 2. So what I would do is after that 3rd period, I would either create a short video and post it online for students and say, hey, these are the questions that weren't necessarily answered in periods 1, 2. Or if it was a really important question, I would take that question and say, I didn't cover this yesterday, but it was asked in another class and I think it's really important. And I would take it back to those students so that they know it. Personally, I love the idea, and I loved it as a student. I had an instructor who created a short 5-minute summary video every week of the information that was covered during the week, what they saw come out of discussion forums, the key points that we were supposed to take. It, number one, humanized the instructor for me, so I actually knew what she looked like and what she sounded like. And number 2 was a great summary of everything that happened, even if I hadn't seen it. So I think that you can't avoid giving different informations, but make sure you know what the key information is that you want to go into all 3 of those sections.